Creeper.
Okay, you're live.
Good morning. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, dang it. Good morning. Ah! Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. My name's Cara Hamer. I'm a doctor of physical therapy here at Wickenburg Community Hospital.
And my name is Michaela Ruiz. I'm a physical therapist assistant here at Wickenburg Community Hospital.
And we know you're stuck at home, other than the fun grocery store trip and coming to medical appointments. But we wanted to give you a little food for thought on some things you can be doing to try to, stay healthy. Today we're going to be talking about strength. So, why is strength important? We're not trying to get you ready for a bodybuilding competition. What we're trying to do is maintain daily function. So strength is important for stuff like getting up off a chair, getting up off the floor if you need to grab something or if you fall down, getting upstairs or getting up a curb, all those kinds of things. So the other thing that strength is critical for is preventing pain. So a lot of times when people are coming into our clinic with back pain or knee pain or shoulder pain, the one thing we find with almost everybody is that they're weak, and that's a lot of times the strengthening is a lot of times the biggest intervention we do is getting them stronger. In general, the stronger you are, the less pain you're going to have. So if you can be strong in the first place and prevent having to come and see us, that's a heck of a lot better than being in pain and having to come and see us. The other thing that strength is relevant for is just preventing falls. Last week, Natalie talked to you guys about balance. That's obviously the number one thing in preventing falls, but you do need to have some strength in your legs and your trunk. If you're trying to walk at the grocery store and you don't have enough strength or endurance in those leg muscles to hold you up after 10 minutes, then you're going to be at higher risk for falls. So strength is definitely the use it or lose it principle, where if you're not participating in activities, you're not practicing getting up off the floor, that kind of thing, then eventually you won't be able to, and then you've got other problems coming up. So our bodies respond to the demands we put against them. So if we are moving our joints, they will stay loose. If we are using our muscles, they will respond and get stronger. If we are loading our bones, they will remain strong. So.
And there's also some other benefits to exercise. For arthritis, it can reduce pain and reduce joint stiffness by increasing joint lubrication. For diabetes, it also improves glycemic control. Osteoporosis, it'll increase bone density, especially with weight-bearing exercise, which can also reduce fall risk as well because you gain strength. For heart disease, it'll decrease cardiovascular risk by improving your lipid profile. And then obesity, it'll increase your metabolism and then help with weight control. And then exercise can also reduce depression and increase your endorphins.
That it can. All right, so if you're coming to see us here, we're evaluating exactly what you've got going on and developing very specific exercises to address your exact condition and your limitations and your pain. So it's not a cookie cutter thing with exercises, but we have put together just a handful of really basic ones that you could try at home just to keep yourself active while we're all kind of stuck inside right now. So not all of these will be perfect for you. Again, these are pretty baseline exercises, but we'll talk through how to select those as we go. So we'll kind of go head to toe and just a few basic things to keep legs active, keep arms active, all right? Yep. So Michaela's going to demonstrate these for us. We will be attaching, so we made up these sheets where you've got pictures, instructions, everything you need to know, and we will be attaching this document so you can look it up or print it off if you want later, because there's a lot of instructions to remember on how to do each exercise correctly. So that'll be attached to this video soon after we finish here. So check that out instead of trying to memorize everything we say, all right? So the first one is something we call scapular retractions. Scapula is your shoulder blades. And basically this is more of a postural thing. is Michaela's just going to try to pinch her shoulder blades down and back, hold for about 3 seconds, and relax. So you'll notice that kind of makes you stand up a little straighter when you do that. But also these muscles back here, they get a little lazy on a lot of us when we're hanging out like this all the time. So we want to keep good control over those. So that's a good one to do just kind of anytime throughout the day. You'll notice your posture's a little better too. Okay. Next real simple one is bicep curls. We have dumbbells here. You don't need any fancy equipment. You can use whatever you've got laying around the house, depending on how strong you are. So find a weight that is challenging for you, but not painful. None of these should be painful. So you don't need the dumbbells. You can use like a full water bottle if that's challenging. If that's still too easy. Yeah, basically go through your kitchen cupboard. You know, if you're real strong, get a gallon of milk, that kind of thing. So use what you've got around you. Don't think you need any special equipment for any of these. All right. The next one is going to be a laying down one, and this for a lot of people will be pretty easy. But if you do have any old shoulder injury, which a lot of people we do frequently hear, oh, I tore my rotator cuff 20 years ago, that kind of thing. This is going to be a great one for if you're in that situation. This work in a direction called external rotation. So Michaela's on her side here. She's going to make sure she's not tipped back. If you're more comfortable, you can get a little towel roll and put it right here. But she's going to keep her upper arm and her elbow against her ribs, and then just raise the hand and then down to belly. And her belly's special right now, obviously. But yeah, so she's keeping that upper arm against the ribs the whole time, which is critical. And again, for a lot of us, this would be pretty easy, but if you do have any shoulder issues or an old shoulder injury, this will be a great one for you. And you can add weight here. You'll find that even 1 or 2 pounds really makes it tough, so start with the Campbell's soup kit, all right? Okay, and then we'll stand up for the next ones. Pretty basic, just making sure we have our full active range of motion. So the first one, you're going to be going straight forward. She's kind of got her thumbs pointed to the ceiling. She's trying not to let her shoulders hike up towards her ears, and then just getting as high as she can. A lot of us, again, they use it or lose it. If we're not doing anything overhead, you'll notice that, wait a minute, I can't lift my arm any more than this. So this is a great one to make sure that you're not losing that overhead motion. And you can add small weights to this one too if that is too easy. And then the second one that goes along with that is going out to the side. Same rules, not letting your shoulder hike towards your ears, thumbs towards the ceiling, just going up as high as you can. All right. And the last upper body one we'll talk about is just a shoulder press, which for many of us, just doing this without weights is going to be tough enough. So start there and just work on getting straight to the ceiling. If you can do that and it's easy, you can start adding weights. Again, you don't need anything fancy, just use what you got around the house. So with the resistance, look for something that is challenging, that is tiring, but it should not be painful. None of these should be painful. If they are, either you might not be doing them correctly, which is why we've got the obnoxious instructions typed out, or you got something going on. So, and we'll talk about when you should come see us afterwards. Okay, so let's start on some lower body stuff. So the first one we're going to do is called a straight leg raise. This is also one that might be pretty easy for a lot of you, but if you do have any old knee injury or hip injury, this one's going to prove to be a little tougher than it should be. So she's going to lift her leg straight up, but her aim isn't how high can she get her foot. Her aim is how straight can she keep that knee. So she's going to try to tighten this muscle right here called her quad. She's going to lock that knee straight, and then keeping the knee straight, she's going to lift straight up. And really just about to even with the other thigh is really all the higher she needs to go. And you don't really need to add weight to this one. If you can do, 20 or 25, and this applies to any of these exercises, if you can do 20 or 25 of them and it doesn't feel challenging, your muscles aren't tired, you don't feel anything, then you're probably good for that respective exercise and you don't really need it. So, like I said, if you do have an old knee thing, hip thing, this one might be beneficial to you. All right. Next one is one of my favorites in the world. It's just called a bridge. So this is going to be great for addressing the glutes, which I spend at least half my day talking about glutes because they're so critical for keeping knees happy, hips happy, low back, all that. Almost all of us are weak there, so it's important to keep them strong because they're critical for stuff like getting up off of a chair. So she's going to try to squeeze both her butt cheeks and then lift her butt straight up. Yep. So this motion should not be coming from arching your back. If you get any back pain with it, stop and try to reset and do it again. Otherwise, come see us. The reason we squeeze those butt cheeks on purpose is it kind of helps remind her nervous system, hey, these are the muscles that we want to use to do this, instead of compensating the lazy way that our bodies will tend to just want to find the laziest way to do if we aren't intentional with how we perform exercises. Okay? That way. So the next one, again, is targeting one of the glute muscles. It's called your glute med. And this one seems pretty easy, but you got to get the form right for it to be a good challenge. So you're going to be on your side, feet, legs on top of each other, feet together. You want to make sure your legs are kind of back here, not out in front of you, all right? And then the critical part is that you're going to tip a little forward, okay? So a little past perpendicular. If you're tipped backwards, it's going to be way too easy and you won't feel anything and you're just wasting your time. But you're going to feel this really well right here in the glute. If you're tipped forward, she's going to keep her feet together and then raise that knee. Again, it's not about how high can you get the knee. You see hers isn't moving a ton, but it's important that you're staying rolled forward like that, okay? And that's a great one to target a muscle called your glute med. And then you do that on both sides. And with all these reps-wise, you're going until you're tired. That's what I tell all my patients. I don't care about a specific number. As long as your form is good, you're just going to fatigue, okay? Not to pain. All right, let's do a couple standing exercises. And we can use the back of the chair. So always be, for standing stuff, always be next to something sturdy, kitchen counter, that kind of thing, just so you have something to hang on to. We obviously want to be, safe is our top priority. All right, real simple. First couple are just going to be squeezing your calf muscles right here and getting up as high, getting your heels up as high as they'll go, getting on tippy toes. Just trying to keep those ankles strong. And then the reverse, she's going to pick her toes up. You notice these don't move that much. They're not supposed to. That's just how we're designed. This motion right here, it's not so much about pure strength, but this motion is important in walking. If we get weak in that direction and you can no longer pick your toe up like that, you can trip because when you're swinging your leg through when you're walking, that toe will drag, big false risk, okay? So that's why we've got that one in there. All right? And then a couple hip strengthening exercises. Again, at least half my day is just about butt cheeks. So the first one, she's going to be standing up nice and tall. She's not going to tilt, twist, tip over at all. And then she's going to move the legs straight up to the side. Again, not going for how far can you go, going for can you do it correctly. So she's keeping her pelvis level. She's not hiking up or tipping her whole body over. And the other critical thing here is that she's not letting her toe turn out. For me, when I do this one, I like to envision that I'm kind of leading with that part of my heel to make sure my toe doesn't turn out or come forward, okay? Both sides. All right, and then the next one, I'm gonna squeeze butt cheek and go straight back. This one, I don't care if the toe turns a little bit, but again, I don't want the back arching, I don't want her tipping forward, anything like that. It should be coming from you squeezing that glute muscle, okay? All right, and then our favorites is we're going to talk about a squat progression, which I know the word squat is scary to a lot of people because the old thought is that squatting is bad for your knees or bad for your back or anything like that. It's really not. It's more about learning to do it correctly. And that's one thing here that we end up spending a lot of time with a lot of patients, is teaching them how to squat well. So a real good way to start is just practicing standing up from a chair. The goal here is to be able to do it without using your hands. If you cannot do that, you can start with 2 hands, try it then with just the 1 hand, but eventually get to no hands so that the legs are doing all the work. Okay? And then with these sit to stands, the chair height matters. So again, we want this to be challenging, not painful. So at home, kind of look around at your chair heights. The lower the surface, the harder it's going to be to stand up. The higher, the easier. So if you can't quite do this yet, find a little bit higher chair, or throw a phone book. I know that's not a thing anymore. Throw a phone book on there to make it a little higher. But that right there is the start of a good squat. So your next option would be to kind of stand at the counter and just start to do a baby squat. So when we're learning how to squat, I want you to envision that standing up without your hands, because that is the good form where your butt is going down and back like that, okay? It's the exact same motion, okay? So you can stand at the counter, so you got something sturdy to hang on to, and just sit your butt back a little bit. If you find yourself having trouble rising up once you get to the bottom, try right here, squeezing your butt cheeks and driving your pelvis up and forward. That's one of the main muscle groups that should be doing this work, okay? And then if you've mastered that, you can go to a true squat, which is just out in the open, dropping that butt down and back. And if you're a big rock star and that's easy, grab yourself a weight and make it a little more difficult. Again, your reps, you're just going to fatigue. If you want to add upper and lower together and get a little bit of core work, you can do what we call a thruster, which is you can do it with or without a weight. You do it with a stick, and this is just adding upper body and lower body together. So you're trying to go all at once, that up. And if you're real good, you can get rid of the chair too. So then she's just doing a squat. Normally I just kick it out without telling her. It's funnier that way. But since she's pregnant, I decided to be nice. All right. So with all of those, like I said, they should not be painful. Times that you should come see us, if the number one is if you're having trouble with any daily activities, right? If you're having trouble walking, if you are having trouble getting up from a chair, lower surface is harder and you can't quite get up, that tells us that you're weak and we need to work on that. So if you're having trouble with any daily stuff, maybe you can't reach up to the top cupboard in the kitchen, maybe you need some help with the shoulder. The other thing obviously is anything painful throughout your day. That's what we see a lot here, is people are having low back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, any of that. You can come straight to physical therapy. You do not have to go through physician, anything like that. You can give us a call. Some insurances do require a physician referral, but the majority don't. So you can call us first, and our front desk ladies are awesome about looking that up based on your insurance and helping you out with that. So if you are having pain or any limitations, come and see us so we can help you. The sooner we get after it, the quicker we can get you feeling better and functioning better throughout the day. Sometimes that you should go see your primary care physician first. If it's been more than a year since you've had your annual physical, schedule with your primary care physician first. Or if you have heart disease, hypertension, so high blood pressure, diabetes, and that stuff isn't well controlled, so you're not on top of it as far as seeing a physician and being on top of your meds. Check with them first, with your primary care physician first before you come here. But for the most part, you can't always come straight here, and if we do our evaluation and find something we want to refer out for, so if we think you need an x-ray or an MRI or to see any sort of specialist, that's part of our training, is to evaluate that and refer you out. So when in doubt, you can always give us a ring first, and either our front desk ladies can help answer an insurance question, or we'll get you in for an exam, and one of the physical therapists here, all of us here are doctors of physical therapy, so we have a lot of training on how to assess you and make sure you're in the right spot and do what's best for you. So our number here is 928-684-5529. So give us a ring if you do have trouble with any of these exercises or have any questions or concerns. We want to help you function as best you can throughout your day. We are open right now during the stay at home. We're taking every precaution, keeping things nice and safe with our many masks and going through Clorox wipes like crazy. So we are open and we're keeping everybody safe here, so don't hesitate to give us a ring, and we hope we don't have to see you because we don't like to see people hurt, but if you do need help with something, we're here to help get you back to fully functioning. There is one more video later today at noon where our dietitian is going to be talking about gluten-free meals, so check back in for that. And then next week, one of our other doctors of physical therapy is going to be talking about range of motion, stretching, some exercises in that realm that you can do. So check out the exercise sheets that'll be attached to this, and good luck and stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.